What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Cam ATL, man. Shout out to the DFS squad, man. Now, this small slate, for the first time in a while, because normally I fuck small slates up, but this small slate made me its bitch, okay? And I'm just going to keep it real. It didn't really make me its bitch because I came really fucking close to hitting the money just like I did last night. 2 nights in a row where I come like right on the verge of making the money. But that's not acceptable. It has been too long since I crossed that 300 mark, and I know it's coming, and it is coming in a big way. And in tomorrow's big slate is when I'm feeling the heat, man. I got some high five flavor coming at you. This high five reminds me of a chicken gordita with the Baja sauce on it. You guys remember the chicken gordita Baja at Taco Bell with that spicy ranch that they used to put in it? Oh my God. This high five reminds me of that. Now, you guys know how much I love Taco Bell, and I have to make a reference about it. That's the only reason I'm saying that. Now, I'm sorry, but I got to do this. I got to do it. I got to fucking do it. I made a dumbass decision switching to Brook Lopez over DeAndre Jordan. Now, obviously, if you watched my video yesterday, you saw that DeAndre Jordan was in my high five, and I explained why. And my dumbass went away from what I thought and decided to go Brook Lopez instead and move things around. Honestly, the TJ Warren news is really what affected me the most because a lot of my lineups had TJ Warren because I expected TJ Warren to have a great game. I really did. Warren would have easily got 35 plus in this game. Easily. So finding out, it always sucks to find out a player that you have in almost every lineup because you're super sure of him. To find out that he's not going to play like 20 minutes before lock is fucking aggravating because when you got a certain amount of lineups going, it's hard for you to go back and sit there and change this and change that and be real confident about it when your time is limited. But it is what it is, man. It's DFS. This shit will fuck you up sometimes. It'll just punch you dead in your mouth sometimes. All right? Something that Robin Lopez could not do to Serge Ibaka, and Serge Ibaka could not do to Robin Lopez. They both airballed their punches, like they do a lot of their shots as well. Well, Robin Lopez, because Serge is not too bad at mid-range, so I can't even hate on him. All right, Robin Lopez is garbage, okay? But I love Robin Lopez in this slate, and that is the way I lead into the high five for today. Now, since I just mentioned Robin Lopez, I just want to say real quick, I expect him to come back and land some punches against Philly. Not literally land punches against Philly, but I expect him to come back and be pissed off. Okay? Because if I just fucking got into a fight where I swung like a girl and totally missed the person I was trying to fight with, then I would be pissed off and want to show my dominance in the next game. And this is a perfect way for Robin Lopez to bounce back against a Philly team who has struggled against big men all year. It's something you want to target against Philly no matter what, even with Holmes down there. It doesn't matter, okay? Now, let's get straight into the high five. At the point guard position, James Harden. I'm not going to take too much time. You guys know how I feel about Giannis. Giannis is a good on-paper matchup here because we can't guard small forwards and we suck against point guards. So regardless of where they line Giannis up at, it doesn't matter because we're not going to be able to hang with him. We have nobody to match up with Giannis. So I like Giannis. If you think about it, Giannis is a great play, but do we think Giannis is going to keep it up? I just don't want to promote him in the high five because he is too unsure. Every time I seem to put him in the high five, he does not perform. So I'm not putting him in the high five. So that means he might perform. All right? But James Harden, at home in Houston. Last time he played against New Orleans, he scored like 48 Draftkings points. He had an off night. But in his defense, they were coming out of the All-Star break, and it was in New Orleans. So he was a little rusty from his break. I understand. It's all good. He was partying. He was doing his thing. Whatever. The way James Harden has been playing lately, though, and the matchup difference between his matchup and the rest of his team, I mean, the guys down low are going to struggle against DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis. The way you want to take advantage of New Orleans is just being James Harden pretty much. Doing the things James Harden does is how you take advantage of New Orleans. I expect him to have a huge game here. He has been like averaging 70-something points the last few games. He has been going ridiculous. I expect him to keep that up here in Houston at home against New Orleans. And I do not expect it to be a blowout. I expect New Orleans to hang in there. New Orleans has faced Houston very well. I think they match up decent against them. So I do not expect a blowout. And James Harden has got to be in the high 5. My reasoning for not scaring away about his price. $12,200 is really nothing if you think about it. Okay, so if he gets 5 times value, that's 60. He's been clearing 70. So he's going to hit value. If he hits his 70 like he has, he's going to hit nice value. And regardless, if you don't play James Harden and he goes for the 70-something that he's definitely got the potential to hit easily, then you're not going to win if you don't have him. So I got to shout out a player like James Harden, and I just got to do it, all right? I love James Harden in this matchup against New Orleans. There's nobody who can hold him at all, right? Now, with that said, I expect Drew Holiday to try to contain Harden as much as he can, which is going to get Drew Holiday in foul trouble. James Harden does it to everybody who guards him. So I am not playing Drew Holiday solely on the fact that I think he gets in foul trouble, and he doesn't really do much here. I don't like Drew Holiday too much at all against Houston. Even if Patrick Beverley was on him, it's just not going to be good. All right. Now, the next position for the high 5, my boy Dario Saric. Now, he's had a few down games here, guys. Let's open up the game log. He's had a few down games. He got 41 against Boston, which is great. And then he went down to 28 against Orlando and then 24 against OKC. Here's the thing, guys. Good players always bounce back. And you want to take advantage of a good player who's been in a little slump. Okay, 2 games now. Now I expect him to go back to his old self here in a very plus matchup against a Chicago team that does not have Taj anymore. They are struggling a lot down low against bigger guys, especially a guy like Saric who can rebound and shoot. It's going to be very tough for them to slow Saric. On top of that, I expect Jimmy Butler to be guarding Robert Covington, so that'll even be better for Saric. There's no way they put Jimmy Butler on Saric. So Jimmy Butler will be on Robert Covington. So it opens up a lot for Dario Saric. All right? I really love Dario Saric, and he has got to be in the high 5. Another reason why I love Saric is I expect this game to be a very good game. I just took him out of the... I expect this game to be a good game here, which is why I love Dario Saric so much, too. Philly has been playing very well. Chicago is racing for a playoffs berth. All right? So both of these teams are going to come in here and put up a fight. Philly's been fighting hard. They're going against Chicago. They're trying to play spoiler. All right? So I really like that game against Philly and Chicago. Neither team really has defense. And it's going to end up being a good game, probably very high scoring as well. I love it. All right? Now, at the next guard position, speaking of the Philly-Chicago game, Rajon Rondo. Name one person on Philly who will be able to contain Rajon Rondo, and please don't tell me McConnell. All right, I'll give you a second. Exactly. You couldn't think of nobody because there's nobody that can stop Rajon Rondo the way he's been playing lately. Okay, even on a back-to-back the other day, even on the back end of a back-to-back, he still was able to put 22.5, which isn't good. He didn't play too great, but still, like 22 on a back end and you just played 40 minutes the night before, that's impressive. That is impressive. I expect him to get good minutes here, guys. They're still fighting. Going against a Philly team that has struggled against the guard and the center really, really bad this year. Matter of fact, they've struggled against everywhere on defense. I love this game, and I am targeting this game by having Rajon Rondo in the high 5. I love Rondo a lot here. Now, I know how we all love narratives. We all love stories associated with players to give us a reason why we should play them. All right? Tobias Harris going against his old team in the Orlando Magic. All right? So, I don't know if Tobias is going to go into this game and be like, oh, it's my old team, I'm going to ball out. But I think it's got to be in his head, okay? It's got to be in his head. He played some very successful years in Orlando. He is traveling to Orlando, okay, going against a team that is bottom in the league against his position. This is a great situation for Tobias. He's the starter now, no problem. You know he's going to get his minutes. I love Tobias Harris against Orlando, and this is another game that I love because I do not expect either team to pull away. I do not expect either team to pull away. All right? Another good you know what? I'm going to hold that for the bargain bin. Just give me a minute, and I'm going to touch on another good storyline. All right? Another player that I absolutely love, man, because he's finally got his chance. They are finally giving him his chance. And the reason I'm going this low here, guys, is because you know how I do the high five. I give you guys 5 guys that you could build a lineup around. I'm not going to give you 5 guys that you could obviously play, that you obviously should play. No, I'm giving you guys 5 guys that I expect to ball out and that you could build a lineup around, that I expect to really carry your team to a successful night. And that's what I do, all right? Ish Smith. I really love the potential for this kid here, man, because we all know that he is superior over Reggie Jackson. He is superior. He's just the better player. Every time he has gotten the minutes, he performs, but yet Detroit doesn't want to play him the minutes. Finally, last game, he started, and he performed great. And I expect them to start him again. They would be complete idiots not to start him again. Ish Smith will be starting for the Detroit Pistons tomorrow in a plus matchup against Orlando here. Orlando just got fucked up by T.J. McConnell the other day. If T.J. McConnell can fuck him up, Ish Smith can too. I am very confident in Ish Smith. I love him. And at 4,800, he is my favorite high five player because I expect him to go crazy and ridiculously crush his value at 4,800. I love Ish Smith here, guys. And that rounds out the high five, guys. James Harden, Tobias Harris, Dario Saric, Rajon Rondo, and Ish Smith are my high five for today. I absolutely love these 5 guys. These are 5 guys that you can fit in your lineup, no problem, and still have 4,500 left each spot, which is fine. Plug in some good value plays, get some good balance, and you're good to go, man. All of those guys have some good upside. I love it. Rajon Rondo, we all know he's got that 50-plus upside, especially against Philly. He's got some good upside here, man. James Harden, we already know what he's going to do. And the other guys are going to do exactly what I explained they're going to do. All right? And I will call every one of these guys and let them know they're in the high five. Don't worry about that. All right? Now, let's go ahead and touch on the bargain bin plays of the day. Now, I kind of touched on one. Ish Smith is an amazing value play at only 4,800 now that they finally came to their senses and they're starting him over Reggie Jackson. Tim Frazier has been starting at shooting guard for New Orleans against Houston. That's a great situation because he's probably going to be dealing with James Harden. That is fantastic for Tim Frazier. He should be able to hit value pretty easily there. All right? There's a couple cheap point guards for you guys, but I really want to get to my really favorite bargain bin play of the day. He's not super cheap, but he's 4,800. He plays for the Washington Wizards, and he's going against his old team that he just got traded away from, the Brooklyn Nets. I expect Bogdanovic to have a great game here, man. I'm excited to see how he does against his old team. I expect him to go in and destroy them. They have no defense. They're on the back end of a back-to-back. On top of that, even if Washington ends up blowing them out, which I do expect most likely to happen, then Bogdanovic is still going to get some good run here. All right? I expect him to get good enough run to hit value pretty well. I expect him to play him a little more against his old team too. I mean, come on. If I was in the NBA and I just left a team, and I just got traded away from a team, I would want to prove to them that they just lost something when I played them next. You know what I'm saying? I would want to pretty much be like, fuck you. You messed up. You know what I'm saying? You made a mistake giving away a player like me. You didn't recognize my value type thing. I really expect Bogdanovic to have a great game here at only 4,800. He's one of my favorite bargain bin guys of the day. 4,800 isn't normally what I would recommend for a bargain bin, but I got to. Stauskas, another one of my favorite at 4,200. He definitely is good for the bargain bin here. Stauskas has been very consistent, and that's what you need in a turning lineup. You need consistency. Somebody who you pretty much know is going to get a certain amount because you're putting a bunch of stars around him that if he gets good enough, then you will do very well. Stauskas is very consistent. Going against Chicago, they have nobody who's going to be able to slow him. Stauskas is going to have a great game here. I also love J.R. Smith against Charlotte. Like we know, they struggle very big against three-point shooters. They are horrible at the perimeter. They've been giving up the most threes than any other team in the league. J.R. Smith, we all know what he does. Solely what he does is shoot three-pointers. So J.R. Smith is in a good situation here to bounce back in a big way at 4,200 now that he's back in the starting lineup. I absolutely love him. Jamal Crawford, I love him against Houston too. Absolutely love it. Paul Zipser. Paul Zipser has been playing very good lately, like 27 the last 2 games. 27 DraftKings points the last 2 games. He's starting to get his shit going. He's getting consistent minutes, and now he's going against a Philly team that's just struggled against everything. And you guys know I like this game, so I love Paul Zipser as a great bargain bin play at only 3,800. Love it. Let's cover some big guys for cheap. Robin Lopez, like I said, guys, at 4,200 is an amazing value play, and I'm going to make him a bargain bin guy. All right? I was close to making this dude a high 5 player. Just because you guys know how I do it. I make sure I can fit everybody in. So if I expect somebody to fly high and do amazing, I'm going to put them in the high 5 regardless of price. Okay? But I'm going to try to make it so you can fit everybody in as well. Robin Lopez at home in Chicago, coming back from suspension after that weak punch he threw at Serge. He's got to be embarrassed. And he has got to put up a fight against Philly. Robin Lopez is my favorite bargain bin guy. Him and Bogdanovic. I love both of those guys. But Robin Lopez is my favorite bargain bin guy at the price at 4,200. He is 600 less than Bogdanovic. And price-wise, I like Robin Lopez more. I absolutely love Robin Lopez. He is my bargain bin play of the day at 4,200, guys. I absolutely love him. And that's it, guys. Good luck. Like the video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, man. We are almost to 2,000 subscribers, man. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Really, this has been an amazing ride. Started from the first video. Took like 2 weeks before I finally hit 100 likes. And then finally just shit spiked, man. And I appreciate you guys. And you guys are fucking with me, and I am fucking with you guys, man. Follow me on Twitter at cam_ATL. Comment down below any questions and concerns, man. Let's get those likes up. Show everybody who runs this DFS shit. And I'm out. Good luck, y'all.